Why should you know the difference between batting average and on-base percentage? Imagine trying to judge a hitter just by how often they get hits. That's what batting average tells you. But is that the full story? Not quite. Knowing the difference between batting average and on-base percentage helps you see how well a player contributes to their team's offense. These are two of the oldest and most talked about stats in baseball, but they measure different things. Understanding them makes you a smarter fan and helps you compare players from different eras more fairly. Batting average is simple. It shows how often a player gets a hit when they come to bat. You find it by dividing the number of hits by the number of official at-bats. For example, if a player has 150 hits and 500 at-bats, their batting average is .300. This stat has been used for over 100 years to judge hitters. A batting average of .300 is considered excellent, while .200 is seen as struggling. But it only counts hits. It ignores walks hit by pitches and other ways players reach base. On-base percentage is a little more complete. It measures how often a player gets on base by any method, hits, walks, or being hit by a pitch. You calculate it by dividing the total number of times a player reaches base by their total plate appearances. Plate appearances include at-bats, walks, hit by pitches, and catcher's interference. For example, a player with a .400. On-base percentage gets on base 40% of the time they come to the plate, whether by hit, walk, or hit by pitch. The main difference is that batting average only counts hits, while on-base percentage counts all ways to reach base. This means a player who draws many walks might have a low batting average but a high on-base percentage. For instance, a player could hit .260 but have a .370 on-base percentage because they walk often. In the past, batting average was the main way to judge hitters. Legends like Ty Cobb and Rogers Hornsby were famous for their high averages. But as baseball evolved, analysts realized that getting on base by any method is more important for scoring runs. Knowing these differences helps you understand how players contribute. If you only look at batting average, you might miss players who help their team by drawing walks or getting hit. If you only look at on-base percentage, you might overlook how often a player actually makes contact and puts the ball in play. The best way is to use both stats together. Batting average shows contact skill, while on-base percentage shows overall ability to avoid outs. Many fans and analysts also look at slugging percentage and on-base plus slugging to get a fuller picture. But batting average and on-base percentage are the foundation. In the end, understanding these stats helps you compare players across different times and styles of play. It also shows how the game's way of measuring offensive success has changed. Using both stats gives you a clearer view of a player's true contribution at the plate. It's not about choosing one over the other but about seeing the full story behind a hitter's performance.